Yeah, we shall, as we will be getting into Tier 3 GOATs versus Team BearMe.
The team of Panda BearMe himself. We're gonna get right on in with our first match with two pretty big names, or at least big names to this channel.
Yeah, we've seen Justice Simon, the Vietnamese Protoss player, a lot on this channel, whether it's in GPOs, whether it's in ESL Open Cups. He's even here in Spicy Team League, so it's cool to see Justice Simon represent the C region here for Team BearMe, and he's going to be going up against a pretty old school NA Zerg player. He kind of peaked in, I want to say like 2017, 2016, 2017, and nowadays he is a little bit overshadowed by players like Silky, but he is still a pretty solid player, and he is a player who has a lot of experience with these older maps in Jon Snow.
The Gerard himself. Yeah. We are going to be loading in here on to the first map, which will be Ascension to Aya. It'll be a PVZ, which I'm interested to see how this plays out.
Yep, as I fixed it, for some reason I had Jon Snow as Terran. He's the Zerg player.
Well, apparently. And speaking of which, here we are in the top left-hand corner map, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ascension to Aya, LE, AALE, which stands for Alarming Alerts. Like Ebola. There we go. Alarming alerts like Ebola. Here in the top left-hand corner map, spawning in the top left-hand corner of the map, we have our Blues all the way from the land of America. He is not quite Captain America, but definitely somebody up there. He's one of the, he sided with him during the Civil War. We have, representing Psystorm Gaming, but playing for the Tier 3 GOATs, he is Gerard himself. We have Jon Snow.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ascension to Aya LE, we have the Vietnamese Protoss player representing Alpha X, as well as all of Southeast Asia here in this tournament. We have Justice Simon.
Simon. I wonder how Jon Snow feels about its name now, a year after the finale.
I don't know if his name was based off of the Game of Thrones character.
I mean...
Yeah,
you're right. It might be based on the Song of Ice and Fire character.
I mean, kind of like how Starkiller, his name isn't based on Starkiller base from Star Wars. It's his own. Like, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
Don't know.
He just happened to come up with it.
Yeah. I mean, they're two generic names. Like, I don't know. It's possible.
I don't know. I mean, the spelling is there.
Maybe George, he is a fan of StarCraft and NA StarCraft specifically.
There you go. And then he actually named his character after Gerard.
There you go.
There we have it.
Facts.
Good old Germ. I'm pretty sure the first book was actually published the year Jon Snow was born. Which is why, in honor of Gerard's birth, Gurm decided, you know what, I'm gonna be, wait, what is Gurm's voice like? He's like, I'm gonna be putting in he has a bit of a lisp.
Not really.
We do see, a little bit. We do see a Forge coming up in addition to this Twilight Council.
Oh.
No Robo facility yet. And there we have it. It is not going to be Glaives, but in fact a +1 charge. I want to say all in, but it doesn't have to be all in.
I mean, it's
very committed though.
Yeah, it's very much sort of two-base push, and seeing that forge, it should trigger something within Jon Snow. She should recognize that, hold on, this isn't a glaive build. You typically don't get a forge for that sort of thing. So maybe Jon Snow knows what it is, as he did scout all
he's
of the
getting
buildings. Roaches, I mean, roaches, they can do well against this. There are two routes to go for, right? Either Ling Bane or roaches. But when it comes to roaches, your micro needs to be on point, and you need like as many as you can get. And he still is only on 1 gas, so I'm a little bit worried.
Yeah, I would absolutely prefer Ling Bane in this scenario. Try to get us around, get your Baneling connections. In this case, Justice Simon getting hammered down. Jon Snow manages to make it in, but it is only 4 links here. Because Simon can't surround this. Justice Simon
loses 1 probe there on the Lings. They do get a better scout off. They do get a couple more worker kills, maybe 1 more.
I can imagine Jon Snow just feeling very relieved right now, to be honest. Like, just being like, oh, okay, it's going to be +1 charge. Okay, I know where to position my roaches. But yeah, we'll see if it actually works out too well. Justice Simon is also setting up a warp-in base here. Or not warp-in base, but a warp-in point here in Jon Snow's side of the map.
Yeah, and even though +1 and charge, they're hitting at a nice timing. They're all finishing up really nicely together. There doesn't seem to be that many zealots here. With the amount of roaches that Jon Snow has, he should...
Oh, the Zerglings coming in. Actually did not see the zealots.
Yeah.
All right, the zealot count is starting to get higher and higher.
Oh, okay,
and now there's a fast warp-in.
He sees it.
There we go. And now there's a fast warp-in base, so we're going to see just how what the positioning is going to be like. If Justice Simon tries to force his way up on to this high ground, this could actually kill him. This is beautiful SimCity coming out from Jon Snow.
Wow.
And again, I feel like Justice Simon, that was definitely a risk, and it would have paid off really well if, if a couple of things worked out differently, but yeah, that was not the best move from our Vietnamese Terran player, or Protoss player.
He cleaned up all the Lings, now it's just the roaches, and they are getting caught out a little bit, but again, with this choke point that Jon Snow has created for himself, this is, I haven't seen this before, to be honest. I love this.
Yeah, Justice Simon going to be having to rotate around here, trying to hit that 3rd base location, but he specifically set up his gateway here in the north side of the map, so this is... Reinforcements are going to take a lot longer to get there. Going to be getting 2 robo facilities behind this, as he does know that it's not going to be roaches, so he's going to transition out into more of a soul train.
Yeah, more of an immortal based army. I do like the double robo to crank out that immortal production, and we'll see if these
needs the gas.
zealots can do much at all here. Again, there are just so many roaches now.
Yeah, there is. You gotta mind the gas, Simon.
Yeah, there's a nice run by here in the natural of Jon Snow, trying to pull him apart as zealots try to push into the 3rd, but the roaches are ready and waiting for them. Does get a couple worker kills though.
Yeah, really nice split on roaches from Jon Snow, but it's still leaving a couple of blind sides. In the end, though, I would just look at the supply right now. Justice Simon.
Yeah.
He's going to have to play defensive and micro like his life depends on it, because it kind of does. He has no Warp Prism, and that is worrisome.
Yeah, he was very much so all in with that attack, especially since Jon Snow, he does have an annoying overlord here at the 3rd base location as well, forcing Jon Snow to stay on 2 bases, and he does
Roaches are about to hit.
Yeah, he does have a couple of immortals, which is nice, and he does have 2 making at a time. He's making a War Prism now, so with force fields, he should be able to hold the ramp for the time being.
And juggling should definitely help out a lot here. Oh, now I remember why I don't like this map.
Why?
And a planetary burned down.
That image just come back to you.
It did. I was like, wait, this base looks familiar. And a Vietnam flashback. Speaking of Vietnam.
Speaking of Nam, here we have Justice Simon trying to hold on, and again with this ramp, how Jon Snow held on his side, he should be able to hold as well. But Jon Snow actually deciding to push out here, a little bit risky, but I imagine it's so he can expand and eventually take a 3rd.
Oh yeah, just trying to keep Jon Snow on his own side of the map. And again, it's worrying. It's worrying for me that Justice Simon is not getting a third base yet, and he's about to be overwhelmed in terms of resources, I do think. But he is starting to move across the map. These changelings will spot it out. Justice Simon turns back.
Yeah, being a little bit indecisive here. We do have the War Prism going out as well, and that'll be nice for harassment, as we do have a Ling run by as well coming around for Jon Snow looking to get into the main base. But there's a full wall off. Yo, Justice Simon, he's committed to this.
Well then, okay, this is, again, Justice Simon is going to have the best micro of his career to manage to pull this off. Be able to run by. I'm also worried that there aren't any shield batteries back here. There's nothing back here. And Justice Simon is doing it. He has to make this work. And that's a lot of Banelings. How are the force fields? Decent. But there are just so many Lings. The force fields, once again, keeping Justice Simon still alive. But that was just way too many connections. GG is called. And Jon Snow, Gerard himself, going to be taking map number 1 for the Tier 3 GOATs.
Yeah, GG. Well played, Jon Snow. Again, looking back on that, I've never seen that. I love how he just made his own choke point at, like, outside his natural to deal with the charge loss. It's so smart, and it helps so well, because you were worried as well when he decided to go roaches, right? Like, Zealots, they can trade fairly well against roaches, but when you have your own choke point, that's when roaches start to excel.
That's, again, it all comes back to our theory on roaches, or the theory on roaches, I should say. I'm pretty sure it's roaches are one of the most positioning dependent unit in the game.
Yeah.
More so than tanks, actually not really, but it's easy to underestimate just how much of a difference, that SimCity, that concave, that choke point can really make when you're playing roach versus something else. Especially melee units.
Alright, here we go, getting set up for game number 2, and we're heading back into Honor Grounds.
LE.
I kind of want I kind of want Honor Grounds back in. I feel like I kind of like it. I kind of like it.
I mean, I'm no longer silver, so maybe I might like, All right, but speaking of which, here we are in Honor Grounds. LE, if you were not aware, stands for Lasting Ephemeron. Lasting Ephemeron. That's when the sanitation spreadsheet is there for a long time. Here in the bottom left-hand corner map, all the way in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, we have our pink Terran all the way from the land of America. He is going to be representing Risen from the Gosu and playing for the Tier 3 GOATs. We have none other than Froby.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Honor Grounds LE, we have the American Protoss player representing what even is that?
The Oakland Raiders.
The Oakland Raiders, question mark? We have also representing Team BearMe, it is Rengen. Never seen that clan tag before.
The Oakland Raiders.
Yeah, of
course. What do you mean you've never seen that clan tag? We casted Rengen in like 3 weeks.
It hasn't stuck with me. just hasn't stuck with me. Anyway, so speaking about this map a little bit, as we do have Rengen finally spotting his opponent. This is a 4-player map, so they do kind of have to roll the dice and try and find their opponents. Rengen being the first to find his, as Froby went north and still hasn't quite found where his opponent has spawned.
I like it.
Yeah, it adds a little bit of flavor to this. It does mean that depending on the spawns, you can either have a very like fast, aggressive game if you're both like in the close locations, kind of like in game number 1 or in the series number 1, or you know, we're diagonal, so we could see a longer game here.
That we could. And I mean, it is a PvT, so it's definitely a matchup that can go either way, very short or very long, depending on who's playing. I feel like that can be said on literally any matchup, though. I don't know why.
It's very accurate, very much so.
But yeah, we are. It's a relatively slow early game here. We do see Rengen going for his second choice, which will be a Twilight Council.
Ooh,
or anything else.
Yeah, that's actually fairly early, I would say, and we'll see if this Reaper can get in and scout it. It's going for it. I think he will. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, so let's just scout out that Twilight Council. There's nothing left in, so there are a lot of possibilities that will be running through Rengen's mind. Could be Blink. There's a Blink. Typically it's Blink, but sometimes you do see, you know, sometimes you do see charge first, and then it goes into a 2-base all-in, but yeah, not going to be the case this time for Rengen.
Yeah, Blink being a little bit more of a popular, like, Twilight Council-based upgrade in this matchup, more so than Glaives or Charge, which you'd see more against Zerg. So, yeah, Froby, he should be able to put 2 and 2 together and maybe prepare for such a thing. To do so, you'll have to cover your bases, as there is a lot of, like, dead space within the main / natural, like this entire area, so just have to be careful in case Blink Stalkers decide to blink in from the low ground. I don't think you can blink in from the gold, can you?
I doubt it.
Maybe
I doubt it. I doubt it. There's way too much. There are way too many site blockers. That's way too big of a whatchamacallit.
Yeah. True.
So really, the only way to blink in would be from the ramp, or
from the ramp area. Yeah,
and yeah, we're just gonna. I'm pretty sure Rengen is aware of this, so he's gonna be playing it a bit more conservatively with his blink. And there we go. That's at third base. Froby playing a little bit of an old school style, getting the Raven and then a Banshee behind it. Still on 1-1-1, so we won't know if it's gonna be a big bio push or if it's gonna be something else.
Oh, there we go. He is working on his third CC there off of that 1-1-1.
You want to float to gold? You know you do, Froby. Just float over to gold.
It's
like, just clear rocks now.
It's not gonna happen. It's not.
You want to float over to gold, right? Froby. Just you get rid of rocks right now. You know, you have these Marines. You have this tank. Just clear the rocks.
If only you can use a Widowmine to target the rocks to try and get it down faster. If only.
I don't think it would do much, to be fair. But yeah, if you had a lot of mines, or you know, just get that little bit extra in the early game.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that off of this 1-1-1 opener, the Raven did come out, I guess, defensively. I was half expecting to see auto turret harass, but instead did stay home instead for defense, as we do have the Raven, the Banshee coming across the map.
Yeah, I think he's saving up for the Sable. Now the Sable is not quite what it used to be. They're on a maxed out Raven, you do get 2 Disables rather than 4. But then again, when this map was in the map pool, Ravens had very different abilities. It had PPD, it had Shredder Missile, which I miss so much.
yeah, it was a very different unit, almost entirely. The only thing the same, and it wasn't even the same back then, was the auto turrets, and they were also quite different. I think they lasted
longer. They changed
the
numbers a little bit.
Yeah. Lasted longer, but did less damage.
Although, when the Raven was first reworked, they did get rid of auto turret. You remember this? They had the mech healing mod.
Yeah.
Which was terrible. Which was terrible not just because it was a weak spell, it was also terrible because it encouraged mech.
I don't think it worked either. It didn't really encourage mech.
It did not. Because it was such a weak ability.
Yeah. Bit unfortunate.
But speaking of weak abilities, this is not a weak tank line.
Yeah, 4 tanks behind this wall that's being set up. We do have Froby setting up defensively quite nicely, as there is a War Prism actually looking to sneak into the natural of Froby. There is an auto turret though, so sorry, Raven, so should be fine.
And yeah, and a Raven. So a good disable is all you really need there. Let the let the Protest player really back away from that, if you will. I just realized this is not a wall. You can't build because you can't build on the shrubbery.
Oh,
but it does create a choke point.
Yeah, interesting to point out, as yeah, that does mean that you need to create a building like behind or in front of the shrubbery to close it off.
Oh, I was thinking I did not think of building it behind. That would have been the sensible one. I was thinking like build around the shrubbery.
Just forward around it, just completely encircling the shrubbery.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Oh, nice disable here onto the Warp Prism. Now a couple of Zealots coming in here, but yeah, we do see that Froby is going for that more battle mech style. Hellbats already have Blue Flame.
Ooh, meanwhile, this Banshee is actually able to get a couple of sentries. Nice pick off there for the main army. And the Zealots do finally get cleaned up. Did the War Prism go down? I think
it did not. It managed to escape.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, there it is.
Warping in a couple of units. Rengen, I don't think Rengen should move into this.
Yeah, especially with the defensive setup with all of these tanks. I don't know what Rengen's really planning here. I guess just to contain, question mark?
Oh, you know what? The Zealots all in that choke point. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh boy. We do have a scan as the robotic spade does get scouted by Froby, does know that greater AoE is potentially on the way, as 3 Banshees are actually heading across the map to counterattack, but there are already units here to set up defensively. Rengen did spot it on the way, so he should be fine. I still question Rengen's army just waiting here outside the main base. I feel like if Froby wanted to, he could probably just pounce on this army.
Maybe. One thing to keep in mind is that you know, Hellbats aren't quite the
yeah,
they're not Marines, so you can't stem them.
As Hellions, they could just dive in and then transform into Hellbats on top of the army. Half of them would die in the process.
Smart Servos isn't. Yeah, I mean, maybe with Smart Servos that could get a couple of pickoffs, but yeah, not for the time being. And we do see Rengen going into what is generally considered the anti-mech army that the Protest player wants to go for. Archons, Immortals, walk over the Terran army.
Yeah,
old TY style.
And
I kind of like what Froby is doing with these Banshees, using them more defensively to pick off units from the War Prism.
It does look really good, as the main army tries to push into the natural, but all the tanks are here. They just shell away at the Immortals. Again, I don't like that.
But he gets the supply depot.
It's true, he does
Checkmate,
get the depot.
Atheist.
I don't like that Rengen's out here. I feel like at any moment, and here we do have
Alright, but he's about to pounce on top of Froby on siege, but there's just way too many tanks here. Good anti-armor on basically every unit that needs to be anti-armored, and there we have it. When you have enough tanks, it doesn't matter if you get caught on siege, because a couple of them, because most of them will finish sieging up anyway.
Yeah, to be fair, I think Rengen actually traded really well there. He was able to kill like what, 4 tanks that were on siege, so decent trade.
Yeah, but, he did lose a couple of Archons in in exchange for that, though.
He lost a lot. He lost a lot of army
to
do that.
Is losing his buffer. Only now going to be able to rebuild the Hellbats.
Yeah, as behind this, I do like that Rengen, he is double expanding. He is trying to get his economy up and running, which makes sense, right? Like, he's not getting harassed at all. As I say that, we do have the Banshees finally moving across the map to try and get some damage.
Well, he's still not getting harassed yet.
Yeah.
The warp in here of Zealots, and now Rengen trying to come in with a concave, and it could actually work out really well. The Hellbats have been about taken out, and here we go. There's not much here to really buffer for these tanks. And Rengen, as we said, the anti-mech army cleans out the tank count, and it's just pretty much just the Banshees that are keeping Rengen away.
I mean, the Banshees are enough. There's no detection here. He can't see them.
No, he cannot. Which, if he was able to, that would have been a very easy hold, I would imagine.
And behind that, the entire mineral line of the 4th base went down. 20 workers went down for Rengen. The Banshees are going to be cleaned up, but they more paid for themselves. Meanwhile, an Immortal gets caught out of position here on the other side of the map. Will be going down as well. So Froby finally able to break out of his contain, finally able to expand. He's actually double expanding. Looks like he was trying to go for the gold, but got denied by the Zealots. Oh, rip.
If you wanted to go for the gold, wouldn't he clear the rocks first, though?
Yeah, I mean, it was looking like he was trying to land there, like in the area, and then kill the rocks,
and
but
then,
the army was there to stop that.
Oh yeah, kill the rocks with a planetary.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
This is how we do it. Alright, another big clash is about to be happening, but Rengen has realized I do not have Zealots and does not commit to it. Yeah. Now he does though, and we shall see what's going to go on. There are not a lot of mortals here, but when you have enough Archons, you can make magic happen, and it seems like Rengen is just walking on top of the mech army.
Yo, these Banshees
supplies are starting to plummet. They absolutely are. Froby went down to almost half the army supply, but then the Banshees came in and was able to equalize.
Yeah, it's all about these Banshees, but finally there is detection here as well as anti-air, so the Banshees are going to be sniped. Not after killing all the Archons and all the Immortals though.
No, yeah, it was able to do that first. A couple of Stalkers will be able to clean them out, and I don't know, I think Rengen hasn't been trading very efficiently, but he can afford to not trade efficiently right now because he is now up on 5 bases. Yeah. And Froby, you know, his key units, his tanks, have also been picked off. His expensive units have started getting picked off, and when you're in Rengen's shoes, you can afford to just throw away army to get those and then rebuild them. You can't throw away your entire army, to be fair, but you get the sentiment.
Yeah, I'm really questioning this mech versus Protoss because he's just not trading very efficiently at all. All the tanks are going to go down again to these Archons.
The Hellbats actually are going to be helping out a lot, but it's still not enough. They actually even got quite a number of SCVs behind that. But in saying that, Rengen losing his worker count once again. I'm going to have to check the units last tab. 56 probes have gone down this game.
I'm pretty sure like at least 50 of those were at the 4th base. Like once again, the entire mineral line on the 4th base was taken out by a single Banshee, and more harassment being done, more Banshees in the natural of Rengen. He's struggling so much trying to deal with them.
Base trade.
Base
trade.
And
I feel like it could happen. Nice blink forward and finally clears out the Banshees.
Yeah, and now the main army of Froby is going to try and push out, but...
Yo, Froby has realized it. He's realized what he needs, and that is Banshees.
Yeah.
They are poking in, poking out. These Hyperflight Rotors are doing such a good job of helping the kite, but a couple of feedbacks, well-placed feedbacks, will weaken them up significantly. Yeah, these Archons do not have the range.
They're actually very hurt.
Banshees.
These Banshees are so bruised right now. As he tries to pick them off, his main army is finally pushing forward, and I keep wanting to say that Rengen has enough, but his tanks keep getting pounced upon. I think finally he has enough. There it is.
There we go. Force it to an all-in, and you, kind of. Okay, good. Nobody heard that. Yeah, I mean, Rengen kind of forced it to an all-in towards the end there. As we were saying, those Banshees were absolutely the MVP.
Oh, yeah.
Not only were they picking off probes of Rengen, they also helped out so much in the main fight, being able to pick off the Archons, kite the Archons, and then soften up pretty much everything else. Really not much Rengen could have really done.
That was such an odd game, because Froby, I think 2 or 3 times, his main army died. like the Protoss army, it just didn't look like he had that much, but he pushed in. Like, he either traded really efficiently or he cleaned up the tanks and the Hellbats, just because the Hellbats were just completely annihilated, and then the tanks were left naked so many times. But every single time there were always Banshees to just push the army away. Like, that happens. Like, the Banshees were so key in that game, and without the harassment damage as well, I don't think it would have ended the way it did. As you said, like, what, 57 workers went down? More, I think, towards the end, but...
More towards the end there, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, definitely forced into a position of having to do damage, but realizing that, that Froby was just really well set up defensively.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there were definitely things that Rengen could have done differently throughout the game, but towards the end there, I feel like the writing was on the wall.
Yeah, definitely.
And so you definitely control #1 hype man KR. Thank you very much for the raid.
Wow, thank you, Control. Thanks so much. We really appreciate it. Control, he's been really active, you know, not streaming on social media, playing in tournaments. Thanks, we really appreciate it.
And speaking of appreciation, Light, I have a question.
Go for it.
Why is the third map the 2v2 and not the fourth? Because I feel like you want to have it in the middle.
Do you want to have it be the determining game? If it's 3-0?
Well, not really, but I want it to. Well, yeah, but no. Well, here's the thing, though. In a best of 5, you can have it be the determining game.
Can you? Or is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, because it's also the third match.
True.
So, you know, it's... Yeah, I thought you put it in the middle, but... well, then again, the ace match doesn't have to be played, so they could be thinking about having that in mind. All right. I get the logic. I got it, Sugar. I got it. But yeah, we are going into the 3v3 match. It is going to be a PP versus ZP.
Yeah, we're heading into our 2v2 match with... almost said single horny ponies. We're done with that. Tier 3 goats against Team BearMe.
Like, you know what I just realized?
What?
Goats are like ponies, but with a double horn instead of a single.
My God.
And speaking of which, here we are in the top side of Fields of Death. Here we have our teal Protoss as well as our pink Protoss. Gonna be one of them all the way from America, and the other one all the way from Australia. Here is our two players. One of them from Risen from the Gosu, the other one currently teamless ? But they do come together in solidarity for the tier 3 goats. We have playing for the tier 3 goats. It is Bowman and Plebiscite.
And spawning in the bottom half of Fields of Death, we have the two players representing Team BearMe. It is Lightning, typically representing Risen from the Gosu, as well as the team captain himself, Panda BearMe.
And this is definitely the duo that we are used to here for Team BearMe.
Yeah. They have played every single 2v2 match in this season of Spicy Team League, Panda BearMe and Lightning. So it's definitely cool to see them come out once again, as they have been practicing a lot of 2v2s together.
That they definitely have. And just as a reminder to everyone, Lightning, the winner of NA Contender. Panda BearMe being somebody who's pretty active in the NA Apprentice sort of stuff, so it was definitely a good draft pick from Mr. Panda.
Yeah, and Panda BearMe, he also streams a lot. You know, he has his own team as well, his own clan, I should say.
Named after him, funnily enough. So is this team. What?
As he is the captain himself. So we'll see if he's able to lead his team to victory, or if he goes down to these two Protoss players. As, you know, Bowman, he also streams as well.
Bowman?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Bowman.
Bowman.
Right. I thought you meant, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I reminded him because I popped into his stream. I was like, "Hey, looking forward to your Spicy Team League match tomorrow." He's like, "Oh, oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, thanks for reminding me." Yeah, was a thing.
And speaking of a thing, we do see some coordination coming up from our tier 3 goats there. Nice little wall here, but nothing to, nothing that really pushes it like we saw from Disrespect and Melody. I know you're gonna be very happy about this though, like coming out from Lightning.
Yeah, we do we do have a pretty interesting opener as oh god, we do have a couple of adepts here in the main base
steal
of Lightning. And yeah, we did see the adepts, sorry, the workers try and fight for the gas earlier.
Somehow ended up in Lightning's favor. Once again, Lightning going to be doing pretty much what we saw from him in the previous weeks. Going to be that good old Phoenix play, that Stargate play opening. And really, we've seen a couple of different ways that Panda BearMe played with it. Sometimes he just really went super greedy, as we do see him taking a third base this time. But sometimes, you know, he goes for an early Ling run by. Yeah, Panda BearMe definitely has options.
Yeah, and we'll see if these two players, if the tier 3 GOAT team have been watching Spicy Team League VODs, as Panda BearMe and Lightning, I think they've done this every single time.
Pretty much.
Yeah, they always go for this.
Look at the lift.
Oh,
look at the lift. Going to be allowing the Lynx to come in. But the Phoenix did run out of energy there. Good snipe on that sentry. And now the Lynx are wreaking havoc into the main base of Plebiscite.
Wow, that was that's what you want to see. Lightning helping out his teammate, lifting up the sentry, allowing the Lynx to flood into the main base of the Protoss players. As defensively, what do they have? They both went Stargate. They have a bunch of Phoenixes, and Phoenixes are not what you want defensively against Lings. Unless
you have 200 of them, and even then.
Yeah, even then the micro that you need to try and deal with that is insane. As
already we see a mineral line just going completely down, and
another
one being threatened.
This could be it. This one play could be what wins the game for Team Panda BearMe.
It is actually starting to look that way. I gotta be honest. Like, one adept here in. To hold up the wall, that is not going to be enough here. Panda BearMe once again going to be breaking on in, and behind us, you know, Lightning, he's checking up.
Yeah, behind this we do have Lightning getting more and more Stargates down. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a fleet beacon, but he's kind of been, you know, macroing up, getting more and more Phoenixes as Panda BearMe wreaks havoc here across the map. More workers are going down. This still hasn't been cleaned up. He's still losing more. Oh my god.
Look at the units lost tab, and that's a lot of dead probes, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, and you know what? Lightning, he still has that gas in the main base.
He does. This is big brain. So yeah, we do see that Bowman and Plebiscite, you know, they're trying to work on that sort of golden armada, that double golden armada, which in theory will work out better versus Lightning's single armada, but not with that opening.
Yeah. I mean, now we finally have tier 3 goats on the offensive, finally getting a couple of worker kills of their own, which is quite nice. You know, they do have a decent Phoenix count, but at the same time, Lightning, he's just been uninhibited. He's been getting his Phoenix count larger and larger. Lightning just, you know, right click on one area for a while and go in. Oh, Bowman is trying to go in. It immediately turns around. And yeah, Lightning just does not really have the range to fight that. Graviton Pulse Crystals, or no, Aeon, something. Look, at Phoenix range is being researched. Crystals, there we go. Crystals on the way, as we do have Lightning focusing more and more on his Skytoss army. Meanwhile, there are a couple of adepts out on the map. They are getting map control behind this. I think what's important is Plebiscite is getting a gold base, and that could come into play. But we'll see, as Team BearMe, Panda BearMe, he's just flooding more and more lings. That's all he's got.
Yeah, it's definitely depending on how long this gold base goes unscouted.
Mm.
And it's just lings. Oh, there's the Roach Warren.
There we go.
I got a question for you, Light.
Go
In
for
a
it.
Phoenix Wars, yeah? Would you rather have 100 ranged Phoenixes or 300 non-ranged Phoenixes? Because that's, you know, we're going into a Phoenix Wars. Both Plebiscite and Bowman, our tier 3 GOATS players, are both going into Phoenixes. But the thing is, Lightning, he's only one, but he's going to have range much, much sooner.
Yeah, he will, and with that, as long as his micro is on point, he should be able to deal with these Phoenixes quite easily. Meanwhile, the lings of Panda BearMe do find the gold base, and they should be able to take this down. We'll see if the micro is there to pick up all the lings. I mean...
where are the Phoenixes for Lightning? Where are the Phoenixes for Lightning?
Yeah, they're just kind of chilling at home. He's not even worried about this. He's like, you know what? You guys can waste your energy. I'm just going to be here defensively at home. Finally, he's starting to move out with the lings. Yeah.
Yeah, we do, and at Roach Warren, I have a feeling that's not even going to come to play here, Light. As the Phoenixes do pounce in, they have range, and they can just bully the Sky Toss of the Tier 3 GOATs. A lot of charges are on the ground, and they are starting to chase away the Zerglings, but now they are all about lifted. Panda BearMe going to be subverting that gold base and going just, once again, straight into the main, and you know, Lightning is still a little hesitant to really pounce. I think they are. Yeah. We do know that they're in voice comms, Panda BearMe and Lightning at least. So I think maybe they're just waiting. I have a feeling they're just going to be waiting for the next phase.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why Lightning backed off. There are a lot of shield batteries here, and with the support of those shield batteries, I think the Phoenixes are probably favored. Yeah, we'll see as we have him back off into those shield batteries, keeping his Phoenixes alive. So it's kind of a weird place to try and engage.
It definitely is, but when you have enough Phoenixes, Light, they can one-shot, and there we have it. I think this is just about the beginning again. Everything is getting lifted. And the ground, the Zerglings of Panda BearMe just clean up everything else.
There it is. The entire army went down for tier 3 GOATs. The sky and the ground army went down, and now nothing is here to stop these Phoenixes.
There are a couple of zealots, right?
True, but
a lot of Archons are starting to be morphed here, and they can, if they can get a couple of volleys off, you know, Phoenixes, they can't lift massive units.
True. You know, the Archons are a nice choice, but I think it's a little bit too late. I feel like earlier they would have been amazing, but especially against lings as well, right? But now we've gotten to the point where the armies are just so different in supply, and I mean, you know, they are good defensively, to be fair, but only 3 of them.
Yeah, that's definitely a sort of a scenario. All right, here we see another lift into the wall here.
I love seeing
and
that.
The lings start flooding in.
That's such a big brain move. I love it so much.
It very much is. Lightning now just camping the production of Plebiscite, and Panda BearMe cleaning up everything else. I mean, how much longer can we go in this game? Well, we do see a couple of developments. You know, Lightning transitioning into carriers, but that's not going to come into play. GG is called. I said GG is called.
GG is called. We do have Plebiscite bailing out, and there it is.
Team BearMe, with the teamwork of the captain and the contender, going to be putting a point for their team.
Yeah, and I love seeing them play together. It's really cool how they synergize. How Lightning, he uses his Phoenixes to help support the Zerg player, especially when it comes to stuff like freeing up the wall and allowing all those lings to flood through. It's something that you just simply can't see in 1v1. So it's cool to see that kind of flourish here in the 2v2 in this series.
They say that StarCraft isn't suitable for people who are looking for a team experience.
yeah, and
guys, MOBA's some more sociable.
By the way, we do have a sub here in the chat. Shout out to Krupp. 16 Squad Senseki for subscribing. I don't really know what she's on about. Hot 16 challenge.
She's sub for 16 months.
Oh. Quack.
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 There you go. 16 quacks.
Did we do 16?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. No, I think we did 13.
Did we? I did 8.
No, we didn't do 13. I think we did. Quack. I think we did 15. So I'm just gonna be throwing that one in there as well. If somebody can count those.
If someone can count, that would be great. If someone could.
Yeah, you are gonna be hired immediately. So yeah, somebody tag Milk and Light for their Hot 16 challenge. A similar charity thing to Ice Bucket one, except you write 16 lines and rap them. It would be 16 bars.
Wait, what? 16? Oh. Okay.
Bars.
Yep, of course. We'll get right on
dropping
that.
that mixtape.
We will.
But speaking of dropping the mixtapes, we are going into our next map, and Light, I cannot think of a more fitting matchup here.
Yeah, here we go. We're going to be heading into, as I fix up the matchups, there we go, heading into a TVT. Oh boy.
On Mech Depot, so, you know, if both of them go mech, we're going to be here for a while, but it will be fitting.
Oh no.
Please don't actually do that, yeah.
I can see ex-Kawaiian doing that. I don't know about Vindicta. I don't think he's that much of a degen.
Yeah, he's much more of a drop player, which is something that, you know, there's not a lot of them. I'll get into that later. But here we have in the top right-hand corner map, spawning in the top right-hand corner of the map, it is going to be our Orange Terran, all the way from the land of America, Hawaii? Question mark?
Yeah, sure.
No, I think it's actually from. I have no. I think it's actually from somewhere in the West Coast, if I remember correctly. I want to say Seattle, but I have nothing to base that on other than just, you know, dementia. But here we have it, all the way at the top right-hand corner of Mech Depot LE, which you can ask Steel what that stands for. We have representing Alpha X and playing for the Tier 3 GOATs. He is the GOAT himself. He is the Opper guy, or no, that's special. The guy who plays with the Opper man. We have X Kawaiian.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Mech Depot LE, we have the American Terran player representing Alpha X, as well as the land of the free. It is Vindicta.
And it's a team kill here, not just because they're two Alpha X players, but also the rare breed of American Terran players, which it's kind of weird to say because I feel like we are starting to have quite a bit more NA Terran players, but they always kind of feel overshadowed by, you know, their Protoss or their Zerg peers.
Yeah, like the obviously the two NA Terran players that you think of, I say NA, American Terran players that you think of are probably Future and Vindicta, but even then...
That's definitely who I think of.
Yeah, even then though, when it comes to the world stage, they are very unknown. Like they haven't qualified for
absolutely
big like DreamHack events or something.
You'd have to be Oceanian or really you have to be either really into the NA scene or really into the Oceania scene to know of Vindicta and Future.
Yeah. Which is a little bit unfortunate, but they are
because they are actually getting a lot better, I feel.
Oh yeah.
These last couple, I say last couple, I mean like 2019, 2020.
Yeah.
Future and Vindicta are really stepping up their game.
It's so weird because I was gonna say like, yeah, recently they're doing really well, because it still feels like we're in the beginning of 2020, so it encompasses 2019, but we're already halfway through, man. We're already halfway through.
I'm so old, light.
Oh god. But definitely, like, Vindicta and Future, they are Terran players who are getting better and better, who are looking really solid nowadays, and who are, you know, if given the opportunity when it comes to something like a DreamHack or an IEM, I do feel like they definitely have the potential to qualify, as we did recently see Future qualified for TSL.
Yeah. And speaking of stepping up their game, Kawaiian is... I wouldn't say it's stepping it up, but it's definitely sidestepping. You don't normally see a 2-on-1 in the TVT, I can tell you that.
I was gonna say...
I'm actually really excited to see what Kawaiian can pull off of this, because Vindicta doesn't really have much back at home.
Has he scouted his opponent? Does he know he's playing against a Zerg player? Is that... He has not. He has not. He's only just now going across the map. He doesn't know.
Well, you know, yeah. You know, sometimes you don't really pay attention to the loading screen, so you don't actually know. But Kawaiian, I actually kind of like this 2-on-1 because just it's a trend in the current map pool, but Mech Depot takes this to another level. Look at how much free space there is in the main bases.
Yeah, there is a lot of dead air, and you know, Kawaiian, he does have a nicely placed depot there to spot, as well as Vindicta, so they are prepared for that. But here we go, the Hellion drop has arrived, and they're kind of lining up, the SCVs.
The SCVs are starting to line up, a lot of them are going down, and more importantly, scouts the second barracks, as well as the stim pack being researched. Vindicta just going to be a bit more vigilant now.
Yeah, Vindicta now does confirm that this is a 2-on-1.
It's the worst time to move out Kawaiian.
Yeah, he thought he was safe, but he's not safe at all. His mineral line is exposed.
So exposed. They are all going down.
Oh, God.
Oh, oof. Owie, my bones. He is fighting with the SCVs, and man, that's a mineral line gone. And Vindicta, he's just looking to bully this position. He can just juggle with his medevac, but it is starting to get really low. The Stim Marines are definitely going to help out, and that is the end of that. But honestly, the damage has already been done.
Yeah, so much damage has been. Now it's on Vindicta to prepare for the counterattack. He should know. He did scout the 2-on-1. He did scout that all the units were missing, and there it is. He does have a tank and a Raven.
Spotter. That spotter supply depot, absolutely key here. Was able to let him know where to siege his tank up in. And now, Kawaiian, I do not see him getting much done here with this drop.
Yeah, especially with the sieged up tank and the Cyclone as well to protect the tank from something like a drop. He should be fine. To be fair, he is finding a nice angle here in the mineral line.
Yeah, it's definitely getting a couple of units, but, you know, at the end of the day, just move your SCVs away.
Yeah, and it's nowhere near the amount of damage that Kawaiian took himself.
Oh, Yakuzaku! Okay, not quite.
It's okay. Everything is fine, as we do have Vindicta. He is securing his bases, and Kawaiian, he's looking to try and go for another push, but...
Well, he needs to do damage. He lost so many workers there, and he can't go for a drop. Now Vindicta is prepared for it. He's just trying to, bust through up onto this high ground, take out the tank. But I don't see it working out if I'm gonna be honest with you, Light.
Yeah, I
just don't see it working out.
I think the best he can do, and he has to be so careful with this tank. No, Kawaiian, the tank! One more
That's why I should save it.
Yeah, he does have to be so careful there. And I do like the idea of Kawaiian maybe containing his opponent, just being out here to make sure that Vindicta is stuck on 2 bases, as maybe he expands behind this, but...
That's definitely one way of doing it. It's, that's definitely one way of doing it is since, a mech depot, the positioning here means that you can definitely force your opponent to be on 1 base. This is a Doom drop.
Oh yeah, he's going for it. He's going for the Doom drop. I'm worried. The scan happens. Vindicta doesn't see the army. Maybe he could be anticipating a drop into his main base. He is remaking that depot.
Kawaiian is moving away. Oh, just trying to get all hands on deck here with this Marine still not picking it up. There we go. And here we go.
Oh, he scans. He's trying to see where the army is. He spots the army. The scan happens. Scan spots the drops.
And here's the boost forward and the boost backward. And Kawaiian just... I don't blame him. He has to do something, but all of his choices are pretty suboptimal.
Yeah, and here we have the Raven across the map in the main base of Kawaiian, killing more and more SCVs, forcing them off the mineral line as well. And Kawaiian, he hasn't committed to anything yet. He's just reinforcing his army.
He's getting a bigger Doom drop.
Yeah, he's essentially, you know, as all in as you can get. He's trying to get as much as he can.
Doomer.
No boy. How would
Doomer.
How would you even engage this? Like, I guess the main base is probably your best.
No clue.
Option?
Maybe. I think Kawaiian is trying to sneak by the mineral line of the natural, and there are already defenses there. Like, this is.
Yeah, there's already 2 tanks there. Dropping in the natural mineral line would not end well for him. But he's going for it. He's going. Oh my god!
Oh my god! He drops right into tank range, and he's these SCVs, they are clumped up quite a bit, and a lot of them do go down, but it's still not going to be enough. Vindicta comes in, snipes the tanks, cleans out everything else, and GG is called. Vindicta gonna be going off of that momentum from his captain, gonna be tying up the series sideways 2-2.
GG, and Kawaiian maybe showing us why 2-on-1s are very popular in TVT. I like the idea. It was just that, especially on that map, right? We were talking about how much like space there was in the main base, but you know, it did get spotted by Future. Vindicta, the other one. Did get spotted, and he had tanks in position, and that's kind of what you need, right? Like, Marines, they're kind of fragile, so yeah.
And they are. It's definitely a case of, well, I mean, that 2-on-1 could have worked out if if not for that Hellion opening from Vindicta. That was mi Dios mío.
Yeah, the timing of that drop, or the anti-timing even, where the drops comes in as Kawaiian is leaving his base with his own drop, so there's just nothing at home for defense, and losing so many workers there just put him so far behind. Yeah, just GG, well played, Vindicta.
And now, Light, we are gonna have another TVT coming up here. A lot of TVTs in this particular series, and it's gonna be an interesting one. We were talking about tank positioning on Blood Boil earlier, and now we might be able to see that really play out.
Not to be confused with Blood Bowl.
Or Blood Bowl 2.
Yeah. Good games.
Look at that. The 27. They are in. They are in the theme. These are the 2017 portraits. And speaking of 2017, here we are on Blood Boil LE. LE, of course, standing for latrine energy. Latrinal energy. That's when you gotta dig. You gotta dig. I am a dwarf, and I'm digging a hole. Diggy hole. Here, in asking for pause. That was a quick pause. We have on the bottom right-hand corner of the map. We have the. When it includes me. All right, I got it. Thankfully, I'm not doing it. We have the blue Terran all the way from the land of America, and also the land of something or another. We have representing YMTT as well as Suppy, or maybe that's Hundralisk.
I don't think that's.
No, I'm pretty sure that's Suppy.
I don't think that's
that might
either
be
of them.
Hundralisk.
I don't think that's either.
Conan Liu.
I really don't think it's either of them.
Playing for Team Tier 3 Goats. Everybody, get your stuff in order, because here comes Jefe. El Jefe.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Blood Boil LE, we have the other American Terran representing Icebound Esports, as well as Team BearMe. He is allegedly the #1 M Canning sub. Gonna have to verify that. I'm not too sure if that's accurate. We have Foxer.
No, maybe that decal is Suppy from Foxa.
No, there's no Suppy. God, that's Neeb.
Pretty sure. Wait, no, but from Hefe, that's Suppy, right?
No, stop. No,
Maybe it's
that's
Hendrilisk?
No, stop. Whatever you think. Every single time, whenever you try and talk about an NA like Asian player, you're like, yo, it's Suppy. Yo, it's Hendrilisk. That's it. That's all I know, mate. I don't think it's either. I don't think Suppy had hair like that.
Well, like, it's not Select.
No, it's you know what? You know what? We got a game here. We got a game on our hands. We have
that. We do.
We have a 1-1-1 coming out from Foxer, looking to maybe switch his factory with his starport for maybe a cheeky Banshee.
Could be the yeah, could be also be Ravens. You know, 1-1-1. It's just so versatile. You know, in fact. It's so versatile and pretty much a standard for 90% of Terran builds. So
yep, pretty much.
You know, we're gonna have to be waiting a little while to see what's coming out behind that. You see, it's gonna be a Cyclone first. So you know, Foxer maybe anticipating some kind of air harass coming out from Hefe.
Yeah, it's interesting that the builds do diverge. They both open up with 1-1-1, but Hefe is making a tech lab on his starport. Meanwhile, we have Foxer doing the old switch with the starport to get out. Ooh, a Raven from both players.
I like it.
Yeah. It ended up being timed out the same, even though they got there in different ways, which is a little bit interesting to me.
Options.
Yeah. It's nice to see. As, oh my god, there's so much room here in the back of the mineral line. But Jehefe not going for any worker kills. Yeah, surprising. He went for a scout instead.
Mostly just. Yeah, I mean, I would argue that's probably the more important part if you're going to be playing more. If you're going to be playing, I wouldn't call it passive, but you know, if you're going to be hanging back and building up your army for a bit.
Yeah. Defensive, if you will.
Yeah. Well, yeah, defensive, but you know, not like defensive.
Conservative?
Yeah, but not like, you know, conservative.
That's all I got. That's all I got for you.
Yeah, but you know, like not like Suppy.
Is it Hendrilisk? Is it? No, it's not. It's not Hendrilisk. Stop.
Is it Suppy then?
No. Anyway, we do have Foxer taking complete control of the map. He has he has all 4 watchtowers. Jesus Christ.
Absolutely what you want in a TVT. Not sure if you want to be sending your Cyclone there, as they are useful to defend, but on the flip side, you will have vision and should be able to take out air if you can. There's such a good jump in from Hefe, and these, you know, Cyclones can kite Hellions, but Hellions can chase Cyclones.
As you were saying, like, it was a little bit questionable going that far forward with your Cyclone, leaving it a little bit vulnerable, and as we see, it does get picked off by Jehefe, and I do feel like trading a Reaper and a Hellion is a good trade for a Cyclone.
It definitely is.
Like, I would say a Cyclone is more valuable than those 2 units.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even all 4 of those units, 2 Reapers, 2 Hellions.
Yeah.
You know, Cyclone just is such a cornerstone in early game defense that if you're able to take it out, you're not going to have to be worried for too long.
Yeah, as we do see a couple of scans going down, we do have Foxer getting his 3rd up and running. Meanwhile, Jehefe a little bit behind there, his 3rd CC only just finishing up now, not on location. So he will be a little bit late or a little bit delayed economically, but we will see if that even comes into play. As so far, again, both players are just kind of chilling in their main bases. They're macroing up. I say that as it looks like Foxer is finally starting to push out.
There we go. The first act of aggression here in this map. Finally, I was really worried that we were going to be no rush 20 minutes here, but Fox are going to be breaking that monotony. This is, I mean, they pretty much have each other's army. You know, Hefe in addition to defender's advantage, we'll have one more Raven and one more tank here, and already setting it up. And there's just not enough disables here for all these tanks.
Yeah, with 2 Ravens, I think I want to give the edge to Jehefe. With that
I would give it all
well.
Absolutely to Jehefe.
Yeah, but it does kind of come down to control.
I just don't see Foxer being able to break this.
Oh yeah,
I don't think even with control, I don't think Foxer can break this.
Whoa! Be careful! Control raided us, man. I don't.
Yeah, but you know, even look, he's aware.
He's a pretty good Terran player. Just saying.
Yeah, but you know,
with control, I think maybe he could do it, but we'll see. As he,
I think the math is just not, not quite there. So you do see Jehefe just turning around and going to be able to catch out these units. And again, this is what we talked about the Cyclones in the early game. Now Jehefe can just chase him down.
Yeah, and he may be able to get one. Does get one of the tanks. Does throw down a bunch of auto turrets. Loses a Raven though, but gets another tank as well.
This is not going too well here for Foxer. Foxer trying to push in. Does have the high ground, but will have to be very wary about these tanks.
Yeah, definitely. The one downside is that Jehefe, he did lose one of his Ravens. He only has one left, and there's not much energy there.
Equalizer,
as he used a lot
baby.
He used a lot of auto turrets, so he won't be able to interference matrix and jump on this army anytime soon.
Speaking of auto turrets, we do see Jehefe making use of his own Raven. He knows that, you know, he just does not have the energy there to get the disables that he wants, so gonna be using it more for harass.
Yeah, as we did see a bunch of workers go down for Jehefe.
Ooh, trying to, what died there? I think that was, I think Foxer tried to get a bit of a bombardment.
Yeah, and I do like this though. Foxer, he is. Oh no, he's gonna get caught out! Oh no, the drops!
He does get caught out here, and the drops have been deleted. And now Jehefe just gonna be looking to reinforce this position. Now, this isn't much of a contain, to be fair. It's hard to really contain your opponent when they've already got 3 bases, and on top of that, Jehefe can just go to the other location.
Yeah.
Or Foxer, rather.
I mean, Foxer, I'm sure he's content with getting his 4th up and running, which is currently happening. Let's have to be careful though, because the Raven does have enough energy for another interference matrix.
But only one.
Yo, Foxer, he's giving up this position. He said, you know what? I don't like the way this looks. I'm just going to lift up preemptively. Oh, I love that.
Nicely the auto turret harass just sort of pick off the tanks.
Wow. It's on 2 health. The Raven.
It is on 2 health. That is... Ow, oof, owie.
Yeah, only just able to escape Foxer's Marines, and now I kind of want to give the edge a little bit to Jehefe. I mean, the only issue is that he isn't expanding behind this. He doesn't have a 4th base of his own.
Here's what we know of TBT, like, it can be an avalanche, or it can be melted. I'm talking, of course, about your advantage. And I mean, right now, neither player really has an advantage, so it's still up in the air. It's anyone's game. Yeah, it's such a good position for the tanks to be in, trying to take out the turrets.
Just be careful.
That, I mean, it's hard to get surrounded in this position, and doubly so when Jehefe has another army moving around here in the map.
Yeah, we do.
Who's gonna get caught out? Foxer getting caught out here. So many of his tanks are exposed. And does actually pick off 2 of them. Jehefe not really going to commit there. Foxer with the advantage in terms of upgrades. And now these turrets have been wiped out. Another more are going to be taken out. And once that's open, Jehefe has an opening there to strike at Foxer.
Exactly, that's the thing. All those missile turrets are going down, and once they are, then Foxer can lift up and drop into the main base of Foxer. Meanwhile, these 2 armies are engaging in the middle of the map. Does look like a siege is just in time, but the drop has happened. We do have Jehefe pushing into the main base of Foxer.
That we do, and again, I cannot reiterate just how good this tank positioning is for Jehefe.
Yeah.
It means that Foxer just cannot move in. Jehefe has a foothold.
That he does, and it looks like Foxer, he is trying to counterattack himself. You know, both players are actually maxing out, so they will have enough armies to try and counterattack and defend at the same time. Oh my god, so much worker harass.
But a karma.
Oh,
it
no,
was a lot of worker harass. The drops are getting caught out. Hefe just lost so much supply there.
Oh my god, he lost 2 entire drops, and he's lost 18 SCVs, and the drop is in the main base of Hefe.
Here comes the base trade, I do believe. Hefe gonna get his tanks a little bit caught out here, but will be able to clean out the bio. And once that happens, what these tanks gonna do? All right, well, actually saving quite a number of his bio units here, and we'll be able to pick off the bombardment from Hefe.
He should be able to clean up. Surprisingly, Hefe, he didn't push out across the map. He actually was a little bit indecisive, and his army was coming back home for a second there.
So many workers have gone down now for Hefe, and now it's do or die. Hefe has to push in. He's got a smaller army. He's got less bases. He's got less workers. He's gonna have to pull off a miracle here.
Yeah, I do think that he could probably rotate to the north to those exposed bases up there, and Hefe could probably deny them as he is pushing out across the map, but he took so much worker damage. He has to buy so much time now to rebuild them.
That he does. Another little cheeky siege up here from Hefe. Will get cleaned out.
Yeah,
but does take a couple of Fox's units with him. Hefe is starting to go up north.
Yeah, it looks like as we were saying, we could be in a base trade scenario where Hefe, he's here in the 4th base of Foxer. Meanwhile, Foxer, he is pushing across the map to the 4th base of Hefe.
I don't know whose favor. I would still give the edge to Foxer here. He has some, he has the tanks in the high ground here. He's set up very, very nicely, and that's basically all of Hefe's army. Hefe is starting to lose this planetary, but that was a lot of Marines going down in exchange for that.
Yeah, to be fair, this drop could go straight into the pocket base of Foxer, and he hasn't cleared up those rocks, so it's going to be difficult for him to head there to reinforce.
He cannot go there, but he can drop on top of the tanks, which is what he's planning to do. But is it enough? Barely, it seems. And again, this base trade is getting basier and tradier.
Yeah, especially since Foxer, he isn't going for the kill. He killed the 4th base, and he's loading up, and it looks like he's trying to drop into the main base. Meanwhile, Hefe has a good position here, but the Doom drop comes into the main base of Hefe.
The worker count has been equalized. The worker count has been equalized. This is a Doom drop, and yeah, I mean, I don't really see Hefe doing too much here. Oh, here's a flank, though, with the CranKy. We'll be able to clean this up, and what were we saying, Light? What were we saying? You might have the advantage in TBT, but...
Exactly, and Hefe, he cleans up the drone drop in his main base. He will be cleaned up at home, but I feel like they kind of went blow for blow. I'm looking at the supplies.
Equalized.
Yeah.
Wow.
Somehow it was looking so bad for Hefe, but he was able to deal enough damage on the other side of the map, and he defended well enough where, yeah, things have evened out, and he's lifting up his main base to make it his own 4th.
Alrighty then. You know what the answer is? TVT. Even though the army supply is about even-ish, one thing to keep in mind is that Foxer has way more tanks and Hefe has way more Marines.
Yeah, so it all comes down to, like, Foxer has to be so careful he isn't caught on siege, because if he is, oh my god,
catching out all these medevacs. Wow. That is painful. And now Hefe can just turn around.
Yeah.
Does not need to fight those tanks. I'm just going to be rotating and posturing around.
That was so much damage done there, killing off so many, basically resetting the medevac count. Only 1 medevac left for Foxer, and oh my god, each stim is going to hurt so much more because of that.
And you know what makes it even doubly painful? Like, Foxer has medevac boost. The medevac boost upgrade, and I won't really be able to utilize that too much here. Hefe going for another massive drop. And I mean, Foxer,
that we're seeing right now.
I think we're seeing base trade 2, Doom drop Boogaloo. Oh, one of the drops already getting picked off. Hefe needs to be so careful here. And it's actually a really good position for Foxer. Should be able to clean that out.
Yeah, Foxer cleans up, and he also comes out ahead across the map in the main base of Hefe. Yeah, Hefe, he's gonna have to lift up his 4th, and he's gonna have to fly it back home. There it is.
Or he can GG, and there we have it. Foxer gonna be the one to take Team BearMe up 3-2 in the best of 7.
Wow, GG. Well played by Foxer. Honestly, part of me feels like Jehefe could have stuck in there. Like it was, the supplies were still so even there. But at the end of the day, as you were saying,
he was running out of money.
Yeah, and as you were saying, at the end of the day, Foxer, he just had the much higher tank count. Like it's so hard to push into that.
It is. Well, it's hard to push into that, but yeah, I would say I feel like Hefe had the right idea with that massive drop, right? You know, you realize what you have. You have Marines, you have Medevacs, you don't quite have as many tanks. So what do you do in this scenario? You go for drop play. You try to harass your opponent, make the most out of your low tank count by setting up and forcing your opponent into them. And yeah, it's didn't really play out the way Hefe wanted to.
Yeah, I think regardless though, I think they both played really well. It turned into a very scrappy game where they were going at each other's throats, and yeah, I think at the end of the day, either one of those players could have won. Congratulations to Foxer for now having a point lead for his team.
That we do, and now that's not the end of Hefe. I want to point that out. We're going into a TVZ here. Coming in with, I don't remember who this captain of tier 3 goes. It's Caleb. No, it's not Caleb.
It's Jon Snow.
There we go. Wait, is it? Really?
Yeah.
Didn't better than Jared want Jon Snow?
I
remember Jon Snow being one of the draft picks.
I'm gonna double check.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, Jon Snow was he's the captain. He's the captain.
Got it. And the draft pick? Dang.
Just the captain.
I thought he rose through the ranks or something. But here we are. We are going to go into Hefe. We've seen him in the previous game versus captain himself of Team BearMe. Panda BearMe. Going to be a very interesting TVZ playing out here.
Yeah, definitely. Jehefe looking pretty strong in that last game, but can he perform well against the captain himself? We will see.
Well, speaking of Hefe, here we are indeed light. It is gonna be spawning in the top left-hand corner of Odyssey. LE. LE, of course, standing for Latin Epicural. Latin Epicural. That's when you need the injection. Or wait, is that how it works? In the top left-hand corner of the map, spawning in the top left-hand corner of the map, he is going to be having a second shot. He has his chance for redemption here. He is all the way from the land of America. Going to be representing YMTT, Suppy himself, or maybe it's Centralisk, and playing for the Tier 3 GOATs. Can he, let's see what he has in store for us today for Hefe.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Odyssey LE, we have the American Zerg player representing his own team in Team BearMe. It is Panda BearMe.
All right, BearMe, they are on match point here. The winner of this, if Panda BearMe wins this, then we still have an ace match to well, it wouldn't be an ace match, but we still have one more match after this, but it wouldn't be an ace match.
That it will not, and we'll see how these two players go at it. How do you come up with a name? Panda BearMe.
You play Mr. Pandaria.
Yeah. Somehow he knew that. Oh, to be fair, there were Pandaren in Warcraft 3. He could have foreseen it. It's accurate.
I mean, here's yeah, anyone who did not think that, well, actually, no, never mind. I don't know. Like, it's easy to think of now in hindsight, right? When it's like, oh yeah, the Pandaren, they need to be played, right? It's because they were in Warcraft 3, but at the same time, there are a lot of other stuff in Warcraft 3 that you're like, that'd be a cool playable race.
Yeah, and so far we have a pretty interesting opener because we have 4 Lings out already for Panda Memory, and then we have 4 more Lings on the way. I assumed they would be defensively, but yeah, it's just weird. It's an abnormal amount of Lings, I feel, out on the map.
They're just, yeah, I think it is, you did nail it earlier, Panda Memory just wanting to be a bit more defensive. He saw that Hefe's engineering bay block, as well as, you know, the Reaper causing a little bit of annoyance. So just wanted to be able to secure his third base, and now that he has, gonna go for a scout.
Yeah, we do have 4 Lings about to head into the natural of Jehefe. They will be greeted though by Hellions. Yeah, it looked like the Lings were trying to get a couple of worker kills, but nice there are no workers here to be killed. One though does go down, but these Hellions should be able to deal with these Lings.
If they don't get cut out, all right, they should be fine here. There's one that's in the red, but that's just how math or something.
Yeah, not bad there from Panda Bear, able to kill 2 workers in the end. It's okay.
It's a bit of a scout off as well. Gonna be confirming his suspicions with the Overlord, and this is the build that I like to use. Like,
yeah, 1-1-1. No swap though, as we do have a Liberator out on the way. Okay. Interesting.
2 more Hellions coming up. Now, what we'll have to keep in mind is, will Hefe build more Hellions? Because that will that's going to be the decider for just how committed Hefe is going to be for this push.
Yeah, we do have a Spore being made in position for a Liberator. Nicely done there by Panda BearMe. Does know what is on the way. As I guess the other thing would be like a Hellion drop. That could be the other suspicion, but
at the same time, having the Spore around can definitely help with that, especially if you have the Queens. Well, yeah, it will definitely help unless Hefe drops them outside of the creep.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no Spore in the natural or the third base yet, so this Liberator could get a lot of damage done, especially since it is coming from the north side.
There are a lot of Queens.
They're a little bit preoccupied here with the Hellions, so nicely done there
by
Hefe.
Always want to be splitting the attention, always want to be splitting the attention of the third player in this sort of scenario. Want to be going in at the same time. That's why you get a siege up here in the third base, but very quick reactions from Panda BearMe. We'll be able to make it out of there.
And meanwhile, these Hellions, it looks like they do make their way into the natural, but decides to back off before getting surrounded by the Queens. Prioritizing keeping the Hellions alive and having a little bit of map control there, instead of diving in for worker kills.
I like it. But also I don't. But also I do.
Yeah, I feel like it is kind of up to the Terran whether or not they want to like just dive in and get as many worker kills as they can, or, you know, try and keep them alive and maybe do something like this.
Diving in. Yeah, we'll be able to get already 8 drones, and, you know, that doesn't seem like a big number, but it's, you know, the most that Hefe was able to get so far.
Yeah, and he does.
Liberator, unfortunately, were cleared out.
Yeah, it does kind of even out the worker counts, and here we have Panda BearMe going for that fourth base, going for the gold. Oh boy. I kind of miss this and I kind of don't, this map.
And that's why, you know, that's why Light vetoed it.
Yeah, I remember this being the natural 4th to go for
back in the day.
Yeah, I think this was in the map pool when Kura was playing, and she would always go for the gold.
It was.
Yeah.
She did.
It's accurate.
I just go for 3x Reaper. And so we get 3x Hefe going out for a bit of a drop. Should be able to scout this gold base. Might be able to get the denial.
Yeah, best case scenario, he gets a kill, but we do have the preemptive drop. We do have the Marines heading towards this base. There is no creep here, so the Ling Bane are going to have a hard time protecting the space, and there it is. Gets the denial.
Yeah, we have it. These Marines now just going to be backing off, rotating somewhere else, which is what you want to happen, again, as the Terran player.
Yeah, it's going to be really important to try and stop this creep spread, try and keep it at bay as much as possible so it doesn't become a problem later on.
Look at how spread out it is, like vertically.
Yeah.
Panda BearMe has just about set up all of the creep tumors that he wanted from those queens, and now it's kind of a matter of just remembering to extend them.
Oh, have to be careful. Nice pickup.
All right, yeah. Doesn't lose too much there, and meanwhile we do see a different drop coming up in the south side. Going for a bit of multi-prong here. Might lose the medevac if he's not careful, but will be able to back away.
Yeah, nicely done there.
This is a lot of creep. God damn.
This is a lot of creep, yeah. Nicely spread here by Panda BearMe.
How many scans are going to be used?
The Ling Bane is kind of preoccupied here in the north, as we do have the drop coming here to the south, but there are plenty of
I remember
here.
This platform.
Yeah.
This is slowly turned into nostalgia cast. We're like, I remember this.
I remember. You remember? I remember. It was a good time.
Rich farms. Yeah. And now this is also a little bit abusable, not kind of abusable, but also kind of not, relying a bit more on the third player not realizing that that's a platform.
Yeah, it is. It can be a little bit annoying to deal with, but Panda BearMe does push the army away with the help of these queens and spores. And yeah, Jehefe, he's just setting up more and more drops. You know, he's just trying to keep Panda BearMe busy as much as he can.
I also like the transition out of tanks from Hefe coming up. We were talking about it earlier, like where when you're facing up pure Lingbane into Hive, something that Dark likes to do and something that Panda BearMe is doing now. Mines are generally what you want rather than tanks.
Yeah, definitely. I would have to agree with that. Tanks, you know, they can be good, but I feel like you can get a lot of value out of mines.
I think the real problem with tanks in this sort of scenario is there's just so much supply. It's very easy to get the tanks surrounded.
Yeah, definitely. And here we have a drop to the north, which is dealing a decent amount of damage.
There's a mine there. There's a mine. Hot pickup coming up. Not losing too many units there. Meanwhile, we do see another drop coming up in the sort of middle of the map.
Yeah, kills all the creep queens. Nicely done there by Jehefe, as he is continuing to deal damage here in the middle of the map. Meanwhile, his drop to the north has to be a little bit careful. Both sides actually have to be careful.
Where's the pickup? Hot pickup on the middle drop, and hot pickup on the north drop as well. And it's why it's still alive. I'm a little bit surprised that Panda BearMe didn't try to detonate on top of it. No pickup. But the mine wipes out the banelings a little bit late, but you know, what can you do?
A little bit late, but a good trade gets a lot of banelings there, as there is a drop here in the main base, kills the queen.
Yeah, you don't want to get surrounded though, Hefe. You do not want to get surrounded there. Loses a lot of lings. Yeah, or a lot of marines, rather.
The drops that keep coming, there's a triple drop headed towards the gold base as well. I don't think he's aware of the upper corner base.
The mine drops. And they do manage to clear out quite a number of drones here. There is vision this time in the form of Spore Crawler and as well as the Overseer. But yeah, again, Hefe's just reinforcing this position, and it's actually a really good position to try to abuse. It's such a narrow choke.
Yeah, and here we have Jehefe finding that upper right-hand base. Does force a cancel there, but does have to be careful as there is a lot of Lingbane here.
Oh, Hefe trying to go for his own gold. I don't think he's going to be able to land.
Yeah, there's a lot of banelings here, and oh god, they're going for the Mineral Lion.
But the good wall off here, it should not be enough. Many workers are going down, 18 in the end.
Jesus Christ.
That being said, Hefe not that far behind.
Yeah, he isn't that far. He, like, you know, again, that run by was kind of needed since the Widowmine drops did deal a lot of damage, but the tanks and the
these mines. Yeah, these mines not quite getting the valuable connections, taking a little bit of a delay to borrow there, but finally, when you spread them out nice and evenly, it does. Fireworks do happen. Needs to be careful about these banelings as well, but still a lot of bio. And look at the army supply light. Marauders coming in to be
he's done it
to help out.
Yeah,
he has. We are in fact going to be getting a Ace Smash tonight light.
That we are, as the random swarm
everything
does get taken out. We have all the queens going down as well.
Random.
He was trying to go all the way to Hive with ultras, but he was kind of caught out as he was trying to transition so many workers and so much army.
He's still
goes
getting
down.
one though. He's still getting one Ultralisk, and yes, these drops, man. 106 versus 20 army supply. That is absolutely insane. GG is called, and Hefe has redeemed himself. we're going to go into the ace match that will be on the best map, StarCraft 2.
Newkirk Precinct, and GG, well played. That was actually really impressive by Jehefe. Like, he just didn't stop dropping. And his control was really well as well, because multiple times his drops almost at the same time were almost surrounded by banelings, but he was just able to pick up with them, and he was just so efficient as well. It was really impressive to see.
It definitely was. My Terran heart, was very impressed.
Yeah, it's one of those games where you see it and it's like, I want to play like this. Like, it's like, damn, like he's actually doing it. Like, this never happens when I like go for drops, and yeah, it's just.
Oh, you're calling me out, like calling me out there, but yeah, that is a sentiment. It's definitely, dude. If you've never spent a lot of time trying to play that sort of style, you wouldn't know how impressive it actually is from Jehefe, because it's not, it's not very how should we say it? It's not very clutch, shall we say? It was clutch at certain moments, but it wasn't very flashy.
Yeah, it's very micro intensive. It takes a lot of attention to be able to keep an eye on all your drops, at the same time macroing as well, expanding, like you have to be on top of all of that, and that's how Jehefe was able to kind of snowball and get all these Widowmine drops, get all of this creep thread denial, and then slowly work his way up towards this big like snowball push, where even though he lost an entire mineral line, that was the trigger point. That after that happened, then he decided, okay, now I'm going to push out. And yeah, he kind of caught Panda Bear Me in the middle of his transition. As we were saying, he was trying to get ultras out. He didn't even get one in the end.
Yeah, a little bit painful from a certain perspective, just slowly being choked out there. But now, Light, we have one final match. It is going to be another TVZ. We've seen quite a lot of these today, haven't we?
I'm not complaining.
Nor am I. It is the most popular matchup for a reason, and now that's how we're going to end out today. Yeah, it's going to be probably the two best players on each team, the way it should be.
Yeah, we're finally getting that captain versus captain match that we've been waiting for.
I mean, it's not really captain, but, second in command,
It literally is captain versus captain. Oh, it's not.
What?
Oh, sorry. I forgot about Panda Bear Me. Second in command, sure. God damn it.
Team Bear Me. Well, anyway, here we are. Literally Team Bear Me. Like, here we are in the bottom right-hand corner map, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Newkirk Precinct TE. I'm trying to remember what the T stands for. It's like, what should we call it? Something or another. Here in the bottom right-hand corner map, we have the blue Terran going to be representing Alpha X here, as well as the land of America. He is going to be playing for Team BearMe. He is, I imagine, the second in command, question mark? Definitely, well, he's definitely one of the more recognizable players from that team, shall we say. First pick, there we go. First pick for BearMe. Can he clutch it? Can he ace it out? We have Vindicta.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Newkirk Precinct TE. I'm a little bit worried because there's no void. Does that mean this is like the HOTS edition?
No. I guess there are only 16 workers per mineral.
And spawning here in the bottom left-hand corner, representing Psystorm Gaming, as well as his own team, Tier 3 Goats, we have the American Zerg player, Jon Snow.
He's McQueen.
What?
I guess I imagine when Jon Snow, he makes the queens, he'll just say, be like, she's my queen.
God.
Or he speaks to them individually like, you're my queen.
Oh my god.
And you know, you ask him, do you want to get Microbial Shroud? And he just goes, I don't want it.
Oh boy.
You know, Microbial Shroud, you can research it. I don't want it.
But yeah,
I feel like I feel like if I actually said that to his face, he'd be like, "Do you know how many times that's been said to me? Like, goddamn." I'd be like, "I'm so fucking sick."
I didn't even name myself after
feels a little bad.
It's my name.
Gorm named him after me. Like, man, feels bad, man. Poor Jaron.
Feels bad, man. But yeah, we do have the best players going at it for either team, and what a better map to have it on. I'm a little bit concerned because the last time we played on this map, it did say Void in parentheses, but this time there is no Void. It literally did.
Look, I mean,
we even spoke about it.
I mean, you know, there are the limited mineral patches, so that's definitely something. But yeah, you know, I trust the players and the admins.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Why not? And we do have quite a bit of a different game than we saw in the previous series. Jon Snow gonna be asserting himself a lot quicker this time.
Yeah, he does. He is out with his Hellions, with his Reaper as well. Oh, has to be careful as he does get his Reaper caught out of position there. And yeah, it's kind of similarly to last game, we're going for a Liberator.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, I would consider that the best way to play a TVZ, but you know, no bias here.
And yeah, Jon Snow, of course, he did scout it with his Overlord. He is getting ready for it as Spore is on the way. He does have a Queen as well, but it does kind of come down to the Liberator positioning. See if he manages to find a nice angle and get any damage done.
Yeah, and this is really the dynamic of TVZ. You want to be getting map control. It's really a back and forth. And, you know, that's really emphasized in the early game. Or rather, that's something that the players can emphasize in the early game.
Yeah, and
Creep
honestly,
versus Hellions.
I do like this. Vindicta, he's using the Liberator to clear up Overlords instead. I feel like that's... I mean, that becomes kind of the meta where it's like, okay, so obviously I'm not going to get any damage done if I siege up because my opponent's good enough to actually prepare. So goes for some damage instead.
Yeah, that's definitely fair, but you know, I would argue that if you want to clear Overlords, yeah, nicely gets the Queen, knows just how out of position that Spore is, and should react. Vindicta, you're gonna lose it, man. But I think he's fine with it. He's already gotten so much damage with that Liberator.
Yeah. At the same time, all the Hellions did go into the third base, killing more workers, pulling the Queens out of position, and now he's able to dive into the natural as well.
Wow, gonna be shaving off the link out. And these Queens, you know, they are not as fast as the Hellions are. A lot of these drones, very nice splits coming out from Jon Snow. But these Hellions are starting to get out of here.
17. Mate, that's a
lot of... That's definitely a lot of workers, and there's some more. Here are more. 22, 23. This could actually be the killing blow for Jon Snow.
Is game-ending damage.
It absolutely is. Vindicta now 3 racks is going up to 5. His combat shield is almost done. He is looking to move across the map and does not even need tanks because he knows that there's a battling nest. No, he knows that there's a battling nest, but
like with this multi-pronged attack, you get like what 7? You get like 7 kills maybe. Like he got 28 plus another. He got 30.
That really goes to show you just how much value you can get if you're willing to just go gung-ho and jump in.
Yeah, that decision was made where he just decided to dive in, bypass all the Queens, and just go for the mineral lines. And Jon Snow, I don't want to say he was being too greedy because he had a decent amount of Queens, but I guess there was no link support.
He was picked out of position.
Exactly, yeah, and that's all.
He shaved off the link out so well with those 8 Hellions.
Yeah.
And now we do see a bit of a move out here coming from Vindicta. Jon Snow trying to go around with his Mutalisk, but we'll already see the missile turrets are up here.
Missile turrets and a couple of Widowmines coming out as well. If he wishes, he could set them up defensively as well.
Widowmine's getting picked off. Oh no, that was an SCV.
Yeah, and the Mutalists, they are pushed away. They are still trying to find a little bit of damage here and there, which is nice. You know,
this is definitely an angle.
Yeah, he hasn't lost any Mutalists just yet, but we do have Vintage pushing in through the north side and pushing through the creep.
What are the defenses even? It's all of the army supply is in the Mutalists. There are only 4 queens, and those don't do well versus Stim Marines.
Not at all. Oh boy.
And the only option right now for Jon Snow is make Zerglings, but again, Vindicta has this mine here.
Yeah, he does have a mine that he can fall back to, and like, he lost his third base. This is looking horrible for Jon Snow. He is trying to get a third base to the south side. He does finally have Baneling speed, and he's working on his ground army. But at this point...
Yeah, what... You know, this is a lot of... You know what it's like, Light? It's like a cupcake that is a lot of icing, but not a lot of actual, you know, cupcake. There's a lot of creep, you know, Jon Snow has a lot of vision up on this map, but at the end of the day, he just does not have an army.
Yeah, he had some decent Baneling connections, but that was the majority of his Banelings used up already. I'd be surprised if he's able to establish his third base with this push just in his face. And
it does not look likely at all here, Light. This other middle mine, okay, not quite getting connections, but GG is called. And there we have it, Vindicta proving that Panda BearMe did not misplace his faith when he chose him as the first draft pick. Gonna be clutching out, acing that series, and we'll be taking Team BearMe to face Single Horny Ponies. No, was it? Yeah, Single Horny Ponies in the finals.
Yeah, GG, well played. An interesting thing is that for both of these series, they both went to game number 7, and they both got turned around at the 2v2.
That it did.
Yeah, really cool to see there. The 2v2 kind of come into play as like a turning point for both teams, and yeah, that was clinical. That TVZ that we just saw, Vindicta just tore Jon Snow apart. That was that was insane. Oh my god.
Really, truly was, and man, oh man, I gotta tell you, like, if these are who we're seeing in the finals and the third place match, I am excited.
Yeah, definitely. Congratulations to Team BearMe, to Panda BearMe's team that he did draft, as well as Single Horny Ponies, as I'll show them on screen as well, which is Cuddlebear's team. He was also able to bring it home for his team, taking down the likes of Zergpatch and Jennison.
It's support, yeah. That's like a part of support to remember.
Definitely. And yeah, I'm gonna love to see these two teams go at it. Obviously, I will say that I'm looking forward to their 2v2, to be honest, because Panda BearMe and Lightning, they have a lot of experience together, but Disrespect and Melody, they had like a pretty solid, like, planned build.
This is where they just break out new players. Both teams, they're like, you know what? Let's get Dolan and Viper on our 2v2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So just really well played there by both teams, kind of edging it out, taking it all the way to Game 7, and they will be facing each other in the grand finals, which will be next week.
Are we having the third place match before that?
I think they're happening at the same time. I could be wrong. We could be happening.
It would make sense.
Yeah, having the third place match followed by the grand finals. Of course, the third place match will be Zergpatch and Jennison against
Tier 3 goats.
Tier 3 goats.
Man, I don't get to make the. Well, you see, a goat is just a pony with 2 horns. So how about that? How about that, Cuddle Bear? But it is what it is. We have a bear gonna be going up against a pony. What more do you want?
Yeah, it's gonna be great to see, and Yeah, I'm just looking forward to it. Again, it is important to note that it is the top 3 teams that get paid out, so we will have to play out the following matches to determine that, to determine not just second and first place, but also third place. And one of these teams will be walking away with nothing, so we'll see. Just the experience of playing through this meme league.
I'm nodding my head in approval.
Yeah, and I actually want to quickly check, of course, exclamation mark bracket in the chat if you do want to see the Liquipedia page, as we have already played through all of these games. The maps are actually out already for the finals and third place match.
Oh, okay then.
Someone at Steel, his favorite map is there for game number 2. Oh boy.
Is it his shift though?
We will be seeing
we're going into 2018.
Yeah, this is a lot more modern. This is 2018 right here. Oh my god, it's gonna be beautiful.
Literally 2018.
Yeah, it's been so long. I love 16-bit. 16-bit is great.
I love that map too.
Yeah,
I miss it so much.
We're gonna be seeing a lot of blue maps. You know, Cerulean Fall is there as well.
The most Cerulean of the Falls. Emerald City.
Emerald City.
I remember that 2v2 map. Also, we started playing more 2v2s.
That's also still in the map.
Fracture? But hole?
Fracture is there. Port Alexander, Kairos Junction.
Dude.
Hopefully Steel is well
a
by
little
then.
Bit, you know,
because
I gotta be honest with you, Light. I would have rather had Catalyst and Kairos Junction, but I like it either way.
But the intro. We need Steel well and ready for this to be able to cast these legendary maps that we kind of grew up on in a way, like this channel, I mean.
Yeah, we do. That was the map pool throughout I would say the highest of SEOs. We played a lot of team leagues with these maps, and man,
yeah.
I remember.
This is kind of peak CranKy Ducklings here when it comes to map intros. Basically,
this is peak Steel, yeah.
Yeah. This is back in his glory days, you know, before he was old.
And he was still pretty old back then. But
he was still pretty old. This was back in his prime, or like his, you know.
Oh no! Thank you, Mechanic, for the raid. 195 of you, but unfortunately, we are literally at the end of this broadcast. Do check out the VOD though, as there were a lot of very exciting games here. But
yeah, Mechanic, please, no. We really appreciate the raid. Thank you so much. But we have just finished up the tournament.
We just started talking about next week's match. Yeah.
We're casting the Spicy League, for those who are just tuning in, we just casted, I will just show it on the stream, we casted Single Horny Ponies versus Zergpatch and Jennison. If you're familiar with the NA scene, you should be familiar with a couple of these names like Silky, Jardozer, Dolan, Cuddlebear. These teams duked it out, and Single Horny Ponies came out on top 4-3 in a close best of 7. It was pretty sick to see. If you haven't heard of the Spicy League, it's pretty memey. I don't know if you've noticed, but the map pool, the map pool is very old. The admin of the tournament, every week we get a new map pool of older maps. We had Odyssey this week. We had Mech Depot, Honor Grounds, New Kirk Precinct. It was a blast from the past. It was great to see some of these maps again. I don't think we had a map as good as last week, you know, like
Dusk Towers.
Dusk Towers was amazing.
I love Dusk Towers.
It was beautiful. If you guys want to tune into some of the VODs, last week Dusk Towers was in the map pool, and we had some amazing macro base trade games. It was insane. A little bit of a spoiler there, but it's definitely worth checking out. As I do go into the second series that we had, as we did have 2 best of 7s today. Do you want to?
Yeah, and we'll have 2 best of 7s next week as well.
Yeah, do you want to quickly recap the second best of 7 that we had?
All right, so coming up here, we had the tier 3 goats. That was Jon Snow's team, Gerard himself, coming up against Team BearMe. That was Panda BearMe's team himself. And, you know, start out really strong for the tier 3 goats, Jon Snow and Froby. Really kind of winning games that you'd have thought that they might not have won. But Lightning and Panda BearMe, they are an Archon. They are a duo, and in the 2v2, managed to put a score in. And that was enough inspiration for Vindicta and Foxer to win their TVTs. Hefe, coming out from the Tier 3 GOATs after being a little bit humiliated by Foxer there, decided he wanted a chance of redemption, and redemption he got. Taking out the captain himself and bringing it to the ace match where Vindicta and Jon Snow, the 2 star players on each team, duked it out, for which in the end resulted in Vindicta frying a lot of drones before taking it all the way home.
Yeah, Vindicta came in with his Hellions and he was able to kill 30 workers in the first 5 minutes. It was insane. Jon Snow was kind of torn apart there. When it comes to this series though, I will say Jehefe really stood out. I think both of us were the most impressed by his play in his series. In both of his series even.
His first series was super close.
Yeah.
It's very much a classic TBT. I misclicked one at one place, and oh, now I'm dead.
Yeah.
But his game versus Panda BearMe was, again, one of those things where if you don't actually watch a lot and play a lot, it doesn't look that impressive. But man, if you actually have been in those shoes, Hefe really clutched it out.
Yeah, he basically just #played like TY and he just dropped everywhere, and it was just insane to see. It was basically art before our eyes. Played like a MMA, sure. But yeah, it was really impressive to see, and that kind of concludes us for the night. We only have these 2 best of 7s, and of course the winners will face each other next week in the finals. The losers will face each other next week as well for the 3rd place match. So yeah, thanks for the host, I'm Canning. I'm sorry that we're kind of ending it now, and yeah, follow the channel if you want to follow this series. We actually cast a lot of StarCraft here on the CranKy Ducklings. We do
basically every day at this point.
Yeah, basically
not on Wednesdays.
Yeah, it's actually going to be more so every day because, of course, news came out that ESL Open Cups were changing to Mondays, which means we're going to be casting Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, all straight.
Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday. So yeah, we're live every day except for Wednesday now. So that's.
But that's GSL day, so you know.
Exactly. Yeah. We do want to keep Wednesday open for GSL. But yeah, follow the channel. We will be live tomorrow with Sea Duckling Open number 78. So if you are a player between the ranges, the leagues of bronze and diamond, then you can join that. !SDO in the chat. If you want to see that, it is our bi-weekly bronze to diamond tournament. It's open to all regions, whether you're in Europe, NA, Korea, Asia. It's just a league restriction that we have. You can't have been above diamond for the past 3 seasons. And of course, if you do end up promoting and you do want to compete, then we also host Master of Swan Open, which is similarly a bi-weekly, I should say, for Masters players as well. So if you promote and you want to keep competing, then we have another tournament there as well. We alternate every Friday.
That indeed we do.
Yeah, so before we close it out, and before we raid another stream,
let's get ready to go. Let's find somebody whose stream is about to end.
Yeah, let's find someone whose stream is about to end so we can host them as well. But Yaku, who are you? Who are you to these people?
I don't know. Twitch.tv/Yakuzaku1. I might do a short stream this week just to test out my my membrane keyboard, and other than that, Twitter.com @Emporyakuzaku, ! Discord and chat will bring you to the CranKy Ducklings Discord server where, you can find me hanging around there. And other than that, buy my shirts.
Yeah, and you can find me at @light_VIP on Twitch and Twitter. I do stream occasionally. You can follow me on Twitter when I go live, when I cast events. But I think more importantly, do follow the CranKy Ducklings on social media. Here on Twitch, we are live almost daily now. And yeah, if you enjoy StarCraft, if you enjoy NA StarCraft, Southeast Asian StarCraft, that's kind of our forte.
And American.
Yeah, American, Latin American. Yeah, we cast sentiment to Latino. As we go offline, we'll show our schedule on stream, so you can have a look at that if anything interests you. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching, even if it was for a very short time. Again, I'm sorry I'm catting, I'm sorry. But
Sorry,
yeah.
mechanic super base.
Yeah, definitely apologize. But we will raid another streamer, so do stay tuned if you want to, you know, support other StarCraft streamers. Yeah, thanks everyone for watching, guys.
See you there.
Yeah, see you tomorrow.